Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We warmly welcome you all for our technical session on research and development for engineers to implement the sustainable development successfully. Our key speaker is Professor Atputharajah. Professor Atputharajah is serving as a dean of the Faculty of Engineering, University of Jaffna, where his team worked at most to establish the faculty. Prior to this, at University of Peradeniya, he served as the head of the Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering from October 2010. He served in several capacities, including chairman, IEEE, Power and Energy Society, Sri Lankan chapter, etc. Further, he served in national level study committees, including power system blackout study, capacity building for clean power development in Sri Lanka, and identify strategies and devise the way forward to achieve renewable energy targets. He had international R&D experiences at University Tenaga National Unit in Malaysia, at University of Queensland, Australia, at University of Manchester in United Kingdom. His achievement includes Outstanding Engineer Award of IEEE Power and Energy Society, Sri Lankan chapter in 2014, Best Project Award in conferences, and 3 presidential awards, where 2 of them are for research publications in 2014 and in 2010. He also published his research findings in more than 100 full papers in the
I think that's fine. I hope you are able to see my slides.
yes, yeah.
Maybe I will to make it little more bandwidth to the presentation. So today my talk is about research and development engineers to implement sustainable development successfully. I mean, we wanted to sustainable way develop, sustainably implement the sustainable development projects. So there are a lot of challenges. I know the engineers are going through so much of challenges, and we need to. This is something sharing the experience, and also how you can win the match. A lot of bureaucracy may be there when you are working in the government sector or even private sector, some of the private sector. So how you can get this into the success mode, that is the part I am going to deliver for next 1.5 hours. So let's see. Okay, first thing is advantages. I hope you are seeing my slides changes. If any interruption, please call me. I am going to the third slide. How we are getting advantages of the research and development. So how the research and development will take into the advantages in terms of your projects to be implemented very strongly and very effectively. So research, the definition is innovative activities. We have to take a set of innovative activities undertaken by the corporation or government or developing new services or product. Remember, this is innovation. Innovation is something already available. We are taking it for the new sites. Invention is completely new thing. So research, mostly the industrial research or application research are mostly coming under innovation side. You may know already, but that is new to this side of the application. So where the innovation is coming. So advantages, for example, what are the advantages? Always we check the advantages for our career from the country point of view, from the national point of view. So from the engineer point of view, you will get the career development, research and development. It will give you a very confident on developing or project because you will know inside of it. So then you will be very confident on implementing that part. So which will make you more career development. Some of your promotion is from postgraduate. I will list out those things in the later slides. Then while you are making yourself very confident because you know inside of it, then you also getting fully satisfied in your service. Sometimes when you go home and sleep, you need to sleep properly. So you want your mind and the heart to be satisfied on your services. So sometimes you may think that this is better way to do that, but the management may not allow you. So you have to explain them properly. To explain them properly, you need to know 100% of it. So that is where the research and development will help you. Then the from the corporation or the organization invest the engineer's time. For example, they will release you for study leave or paid leave so that that's supposed to bring some innovation and sustainable solution to their own industry or own organization to solve any real world problem. So whenever you come across any real world problem, then when they are patching up, that will not solve the problem. Create another problem to you in the future. So better to have a permanent solution for any problem. That is always possible through innovative ideas. The innovative ideas, how the innovative ideas can be taken, that is the training of research and development. When you do research and development of one specific area, it will take you to any areas you can use the same management in country at large. For example, sustainability. Whenever you do something in depth, so it becomes sustainable. I mean, once you do the correction, yes.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, the sound is not the audio is not very much clear. There are some airwaves are close by.
Okay. I think then இப்போ உங்களுக்கு clear இருக்கா? Right. Okay. I remove the earphone. So because I am on a small outside area on the road, so that's what I thought. Sometimes it may not be very clear. So now it's okay, I think.
Yeah, now it's
so.
Okay.
Yes. So at the country at large, when we look from the country point of view, national point of view, when you implement those projects in depth with the knowledge and the analysis, you are very confident on the solution you are proposing, and that will bring you more sustainability and with the future technological development. Because, for example, even whenever you solve the problem today, it should be the solution for next 10 years. So any future technology come, that shouldn't change immediately. So that's the point, future technological problem. So that is a point I mentioned in this slide. So let's go to the next slide. How we are saying that this research and development, when I say research and development will help you for sustainable development, how we confidently say, how we prove this one, we can see through how the developed countries come across. So whenever you look the money spent on the research and development, you can see, for example, Korean has enormous money. Every year they increase. So Germany, China, all kind of leading top countries. Don't forget about the Sri Lanka, even though they spend too much of a reasonable good amount of money, but we are not doing much as well. So there's both side failures. But when you look from the other countries, lot of money is being spent in some decent countries which are ahead of all of us. So you can see the money or the weight they put on the research and development from the government policies. Always we know that these whole countries are much ahead of us. They are in terms of development. So let's see how the funding opportunities are available. How we can get funding opportunity for the research and development. Say your stipend. For example, you are allowed to do part-time postgraduate programs. So you can go and register with any of the universities, either Peradeniya, Moratuva, or even Jaffna or any other places, so that you can get the MPhil or PhD research program or taught courses like MSc can be done. But they are the industry. Some of the industry will give uh, part time. That means you can get some leave, a couple of month or couple of weeks leave can be taken up. Taken. But whenever you look from that is one way. So that means you have been given chances from your industry or organization uh, to get leaves and do your postgraduate programs. Second things, uh, interest. You have some people feel they need to enhance their knowledge either further in a wider spectrum through the taught courses, or they need to enhance the knowledge further into deep of the research. So both are available in the universities. Taught courses are a master program. Research mean MPhil or PhD. Then course fees, you have targeted, for example, to get the course fee, you can always reimburse the course fee from your industries or organization. Most of the organization does that one, but subjected, your research is useful to them. For example, whenever I take any student for research, I normally ask them to come with the problem where their industry experience. Once you solve the problem, that become profit to the industry. So they will definitely reimburse that cost. That is how I am telling the cost fee can be reimbursed. So next is how it contribute to the engineer's career. So when I say it contribute to the engineer's career, how it is contributing. I will just list out some of the document which will be directly. For example, I am taking all from the government gazettes. Say for example, you have a this is from the one of the promotion to the industry engineer. Uh, so here you can see it has been circulated to all the secretaries. Here the child have completed the section B of this cassette. You can see the cassette number. Section B of that one say that postgraduate diploma or postgraduate qualification. So nowadays, all the industries are focusing on promoting their engineers to do postgraduate studies. That is not only from normal operation, but also from the uh, industrial point of view, it has more benefited. So every postgraduate, every engineer wanted to go for their career promotion, at least to the top level, they have to go through the postgraduate program, certification or degrees or whatever the thing, at least not less than 9 month research on it. So that is being motivated by the that circular, or the water supply has some you can see it's highlighted here, postgraduate degree in relevant field. So these all are or and so that is mandatory. So you have to have some postgraduate degree in the relevant field for this specific post of chief engineer or that kind of positions. So these are from the directly taken from the industries whenever they hire the people, or the highway road RDA, road development authority. They also saying that or and finally and a postgraduate degree in the relevant field or chartered membership. So always they are promoting engineers to come up with even this one I took it from engineer Sudhakaran. So and his one of his presentation or irrigation also they are asking about degree with the postgraduate qualification. Water board again I saw you, road development authority again postgraduate degree. So now what are these last 4-5 slides indicating is confirming that you want to go in the ladder up the chief engineer or senior engineer level, you need to have a postgraduate program. So this came through the circular, but it is there for a longer period, as well as nowadays it is going to be more and more strictly implemented. For example, CB would do a salary increase will come if you complete a postgraduate program, as well as they will pay you the reimburse the course fee as well. I will, if I say something from my experience at University of Jaffna, here we even we have signed the MOU with CB, signed the MOU with SLT, signed the MOU with Dialogue. We have signed the MOU with Kalani Cable. So many industries we have signed the MOU. So whenever we sign the MOU, they recognize our degree program. They recognize our postgraduate degree program as well. So you can do your research together with us. Similar way, I'm sure that Peradeniya Moratuwa, such leading universities also signed the MOU. So all universities are open for promoting research and development to the industrial engineers, especially engineering faculties. So let's see what is the opportunities and facilities are available at the Faculty of Engineering, University of Jaffna. As I am from Faculty of Engineering, University of Jaffna, I am listing these things. But please note that if you are closer to any other universities like Moratuwa, Peradeniya, Ruguna, those kind of leading engineering faculties, you can always go for one of them. So let's see what is available at the University of Jaffna. We have a grid connected. For example, I am from electrical electronic engineering. I apologize for unable to pick up some examples from civil engineering and mechanical engineering and computer engineering. But they all are having, especially civil engineering has large number of PhD holders. I will list all of them at the end of my presentation. So some example I am taking you to understand how you can do the research and empower your knowledge and the career. For that one, I am taking some example in my expertise area. But please don't bias to only my expertise area. These are some example only I took it. So we have a grid connected 5 kilowatt demonstrating wind turbine at the Faculty of Engineering, University of Jaffna. So that means, for example, we have a, this is the 5 kilowatt wind turbine, which is grid connected, which is inside the university premises. So even I remember in our old good days, so very good old good days, very relaxing environment where we have to go outside to get this experience. Power plants or hydropower plants or diesel power plant, we have to go outside. Now the wind turbine is inside the university. So our target is inherited. That means embedding the technology with the students' life. Every day when they go and come, they will be seeing these technologies. So at the bottom is written, it was donated by Windforce Private Limited. So we got this turbine fully installed with the help of the Windforce Private Limited. So this is how it was erected with their help with the crane, and it was installed vertically, and now it is getting and running. So anybody wanted to do research and detailedly understand how this technology works, wind turbine technology is working, you are welcome. For example, I will just take you a couple of slides in depth of wind turbine technology just to understand. With the latest technology, same wind turbine, same size wind turbine, two technology, F6 technology, fixed speed induction generator technology, and double effect induction generator technology. If you put fixed speed induction generator technology, it's consume only this much of power. It can generate this much of power per annum. But double effect will generate over 1500 extra megawatt hour. So double effect will generate more, and double effect induction generator technology also little bit expensive. So by putting little capital money into the technology, you can gain more money from the output. So same space, same land space, you can get more profit out of your value if you are a little bit richer than the earlier system. So that is how it is happening. Of course, instead of the curve is little lower in the fixed speed, but double effect will be start extracting power from about 4 meters per second, and it will extract the power even more in the 15 meters per second. So high wind also more power and low wind also more power. That is how it's extracting more power than the fixed speed. So this kind of in-depth learning using a simple way, very easy way, is possible with our research laboratories. So, for example, you can see always, even today, Mannar, we went to attend for a meeting where they are fighting for not to allow the wind power plants to come in. There are a lot of people saying that. So, but what to do? We don't want to tell them this problem, but we told them clearly this was the first meeting, so they were able to little bit understand what is wind turbine. Even though they have a phase 1 project getting and running, some people say that that has some problem and things like that. So that is sociology. Whatever the technology we know very well, it will work. But sociology, how this technology going to affect the people life and animal life or the fisheries life, all kind of thing. We have to understand everything, and finally we have to clearly explain them in black and white. That's called sociology. Once we satisfy the technology, we have to go through the sociology part. So let's see. So this is one place where the technology will tell you more, more generation, more yield. Second one is, you can see earlier technology create lot of fluctuating power. Now the technologies are very smooth power. So the power electronics, through the power electronic interface, the been latest technologies, it has smoothened the power, very smooth power, even zero reactive power, no reactive power, fluctuating reactive power. It's almost zero and constant. Active power also smooth, almost constant. So we can make with the new technology, we can make this uh, powers also into uh, this part. I will try to. So we can even put the technology. Uh, I'm trying to see whether we can vertically put this one. Is it blocking you? Okay, it's okay. So we can see the technology will make it very smooth. That's the point at this slide. Further into detail, if you have a wind turbine, it's creating fluctuating power, DC power plus fluctuating power, DC reactive power plus fluctuating reactive power. So if you can inject the fluctuating component, grid side will come with the constant power. It's again very simple technique. You can see when your current vector is moving this way and that way, say your current vector is moving this way and that way, load current vector. If you inject this current, then the grid current will remain constant. So simple vector addition. So whatever the movement, fluctuating component will be injected, then the grid current will be remain constant. So that's a simple technique, but I will not go into deep because you have all electrical, civil and mechanical, chemical engineers, all of them are there. So I will not go into detail, but this is not a very cutting edge technology, but this look like cutting edge technology. But when you do the research, you will understand it's a normal, simple technology. So let's see next slides on 20th. I am very pleased to say that when we were at Peradeniya, we were able to establish the first hybrid power plant consisting wind, solar PV, battery, and diesel, and at Eluvadivu, northern province. In Eluvadivu, small island in northern province, that was the first hybrid power plant in the country. So this is one of the research outcome you will be seeing in the later part. These all are engineers driving the landmaster, because in Eluvadivu we can only drive landmaster. There's nothing other vehicle. So they were going and collecting the sociology study, and they finally implemented uh, 3.5 kilowatt of 6 turbine, wind turbine, and 46 kilowatt PV, solar PV, 30 kilowatt diesel, and 110 kilowatt hour capacity battery pack. All of them were connected together and it was running. So these are, at the beginning they were doing a lot of presentation. This is Mr. Ratneswaran. He is the main person who did the research on this. He was a planning engineer at Trincomalee Region 2, I think. So finally the minister came and opened it. So you can see this is the Eluvadivu Island, about 303 kilometer and 650 meter width, very small island. Solar power is here, solar plant and wind plant is there. So they were running, and now it's become a tourist attraction place. So, but this Eluvadivu Island was getting about 2 hours per day electricity. Now it's getting 24 hours per day electricity. So still there are some more research components. If somebody interested, they can come and see, okay, how these different technology can be, because different technology will have different operating cost and different time. Sometimes wind is available, whenever they are not available, diesel has to work and battery has to work. So they are different time based, depend on the available resources. At the same time, technology, different cost. So how to optimize them and operate it. So this is not only a research for learning the optimization, but also excellent facility for training the engineers. So it's a wonderful opportunity. We have a very good pilot project running very close to us, and if somebody come and do that, they can really get implemented in simulation and uh, put them in the site and make sure it is working without any problem. So at least they can get the confidence whenever they implement in the hardware and it's running. Then the next part is we have a rooftop solar power plant, again pilot plant, which was established for demonstration papers at the Faculty of Engineering University of Jaffna. So when you look from this one, this is how the whole roof. We had about 55 kilowatt string converter and 5 kilowatt rooftop solar power plant. It was implemented, and former Vice Chancellor came and inaugurated that one. So this is very well getting running. You can see every day we are getting about 40 kilowatt hour out of the 55 kilowatt hour. But this was on in a June 10th. Little cloudy time. It was again interrupting here time to time. You can see this. It has been interrupted during the daytime sometime. So this is the outcome of the rooftop solar, and every day we are getting about 250 around average of 250 kilowatt hour. That means 250 units for a single day. We are getting this. So that's again a good income to us, because 250 unit is free of charge for our faculty or university. So if you take a month, every month we are getting about 6,000 average of 6,000 kilowatt hour unit. 6,000 per month is a huge benefit to us from the 55 kilowatt string converter. So these are some of the real outcome. That means direct outcome from the rooftop solar. Not only that, we did lot of demonstration by inviting accountants, engineers, principals, school children, and a lot of business people, chamber of commerce, even community people who are a little bit of enthusiasm on putting up rooftop solar. So many people came from, especially from Jaffna district, because they were eager to come here during the Saturday, Sunday, and we demonstrate them. Basically, this is one of the point everybody should understand. As engineers, we know the technology sometimes. So when we know the technology, if we wanted to pass the message to other person who is a businessman or community man or chamber of commerce person or accountant, especially the people who deal with the money, we have to tell them, look, if you put 1 rupee, you will get 1.5 rupees back. We can't talk them about the technology. They don't understand the technology. They will be very hated if we talk about the technology. So the only way to transfer the technology into rupees is pilot projects. You implement pilot projects and tell them, look, you get about 14 million to implement this pilot project, but you are getting about 2.5 lakhs per month as income. So then they will know that, okay, this is my payback, simple payback, and so I can get it. So for example, from the data we collected, in average, one panel with the 250 watts, it will generate about 31 units. 1 month, one panel will generate about 31 units. Just for simple calculation for you to take home message. If you have any, say for example, you are getting about 150 units or 200 units at your home per month. So you want to reduce the 200 unit to maybe 100 units. So you can put 3 of 250 watts panel. So that will solve some of your problem at your home. That means it will bring down the electricity costs within the lower tariff component. So the next one is the first floating solar PV plant established for the research and development at the Faculty of Engineering, University of Jaffna. So this shows how this, for example, this is the first floating solar power plant in the country. So that's the beauty of this. With the support of Norway government, we implement that one. So now even you can see the CB is taking it forward to the policy level, national planning. So we are contributing a lot by even though the faculty is very young, it has very motivated, enthusiastic staff members and the administrative team. So they work very hard, and we got 4611 first floating power plant implemented with the help of Norway ambassador. So finally, Norway ambassador came and inaugurated the floating solar power plant in January 2020, and it's getting and running very well. So this is the outcome. You can see, for example, we are again getting about 6,000 unit average, 5,500, 6,000 unit average per month. We are getting from March 2020 to December 2021. This was recorded. So there are a lot of direct benefit as well as indirect benefit. I mean, underneath of the solar plant, what is going on? Underneath of the water, is it the algae is it dying or is it growing? What are the small fishes? How it is growing up? Those kind of environmental impact research also going on. So those are the points were very indirectly, and it's open to all the engineers. Even the solar panels are here, and this is the grid converter, grid tie converter, and this is connected to the main grid from the utility CB to loads. So basically, the converter is simple DC to AC converter. It's not very cutting edge technology, even though it's look like new to you, but it's not very far away from you. You already know this one from undergraduate if you are electrical engineer. So what I'm telling is almost most of the problems can be solved with easily using the basic theories what we learned from the undergraduates. So only thing is the postgraduate build small knowledge on top of it for you to uh, get sustainable solution with confidence on it. So that means whenever you provide some solution, you need to go in depth of analysis. That is where the postgraduate program is coming into the picture. So it's basically, yeah, if you operate in this point, it's injecting active and reactive power. So operational point, absorbing active and reactive power, we can only inject to absorb active or reactive power. So those are easily possible by changing the operating point in the first quarter or second quarter or third or fourth. So it is just a simple control concept to be implemented in this converter that will make whether active or reactive power will be injected, so that whatever we need to make the control on the grid, it will be done. So it's simply talking that way, but when you implement, I can help you. And also, you know that in the solar, we normally target about maximum power point operating. So whenever we keep this current and the voltage of a solar panel at this point, is going to create maximum power operation, so that you can basically extract more power for the same irradiance from the sunlight. So that is what called maximum power extraction. So it's quite easy, because only thing is you have to bring the terminal voltage of the solar to this level. So if you bring this one, automatically current will come to that level. So this is the solar characteristic graph. So that's again, I am taking you a little bit touch on the technological or technical part of the solar PV and the wind, so that you will be able to understand a little bit on that side as well. I'm opening some points for you to get into the research and development. So few example on the successful stories. That means whenever I talk about, say, you do this, you may a little bit bored. So I am just showing you what are the fast research and development experience and how they get outcome to the country national development in 4-year career. So the first hybrid power plant. Somebody need to mute. The first hybrid power plant came out from the postgraduate research study thesis. Basically, Yeah, somebody. Yeah. So this was I already discussed with you. The first hybrid pilot power plant in Sri Lanka was implemented in Eluvadivu. Actually, that is the outcome of Mr. Radneshwaran MA postgraduate thesis. So you can imagine a postgraduate thesis. Somebody can mute the people. It will be good. Oh, I don't know. I may be the cause, so I have to mute. That may be the problem. Okay. Okay, so the first floating the so hybrid power plant in Sri Lanka was implemented in Eluvadivu. Actually, that is the outcome of postgraduate work in depth. That will lead to a very good outcome. So I promote or I motivate all of you to come with the postgraduate program where you can end up with a very solid outcome, which will be really remarkable for your life, and your name will be always there in the future. So you can see today we start implementing that thing for a tiny island somewhere here. But now you know that India and China is fighting for the other island, all big island, to be implemented with the same technology. So, like Alvadiv Island, they wanted to electrify all other island with the hybrid technology, where the tender has been called, and China won the tender, and India wanted to get it because it is closer to India. You all know that story. So that means what I am telling is that confidently confirm that the research and development which propose and put on a pilot project on a small island that can definitely show a real outcome, and that due to that outcome they have gone up to implementing the same technology for other big islands. So this shows you definitely research and development is very valuable in Sri Lanka too. Then the pilot project on a small 2.5 kilowatt wind turbine and electrifying small villages for 12 houses. This was done when I was at Peradeniya. It was a very interesting project at Rasnaikapura, Nikavaratia and Puttalam. Actually, that time, honestly speaking, I was like you, talking about wind and solar. It's a solution for industry. So for Sri Lanka, and a lot of people like myself, together with Prof. Janakeka, so many people, we went and talked to the CEB and things like that. But of course, they may not be able to really understand the in-depth technology. But we were thinking that rather talking to them, put up a pilot project and show them in really. This is where we started the pilot project operations. So from 2003 onward, we talked to Nerd Center and Practical Action, Mr. Namis Mustafa. Then we established a small 2.5 kilowatt wind turbine and supply to few houses around that places, and that pick up the business because once it show that you spend a little bit money and getting more money out of it, because there were about 12 houses supplied with that wind turbine. So we show it to the private people. They catch up that when they put a single rupee, it's come as uh, with a profit. So whenever something is profitable, automatically the business people will take it up. So that is how this today in Puttalam there are over 105 megawatts power plants are there in in one, but together with us, lot of other people who can take the risk, business developers and CV, top management, sustainable energy authority mainly, they work very hard and finally catch up a lot of wind power development. So you can see the growth of the wind power development from 2003 onwards. It was almost like exponential. So of course, even today in Mannar, we discuss with many people. They say wind power has a lot of problems and so on. That's the sociology problems. We have to sort out those. We have to satisfy whatever the problem come across from them. They were telling that flooding, recent flooding is due to wind, but actually it was there for a longer period. And everything is discussed, and they are going to find solution for all of those, because when they put the wind turbines, they will put a new road. When they put the new road, they put I think less number of canals. I cannot say that confidently without checking it, but that was discussed. Less number of canals. So due to the less number of canals, the water has been trapped into the system in the mainland, but not the mainland, inside the island. So that create a little bit of flood condition. That is what the people were talking. But I know that the flooding is there for a longer period, but due to heavy rain, it has increased. But maybe partially what they were discussed is correct. The road need to have proper canal systems, but they might have always engineers design very well without canal. They don't put the road, but still there may be some lapse in here and there. Some places where they have to redo that part and correct it, because in reality the flooding is severe, and it is they are still now today, so they have to find a way to evacuate those water to the seaside. So everything is in black and white. Whenever people have problem, it has to be solved out without much problem, because we develop everything for the people. So we have to make sure the people concerned has been carefully taken. So you can see basically the wind and wind power development has been taken exponentially up, because it is become profitable and economically viable project. So country point of view, wherever the wind resources they are, definitely they are going to develop. So we have to grab that opportunity to develop that area together with while absorbing the technology for generating power from the free resources such as wind and solar. So the first floating project, solar project, how it is contribute, what is the outcome of that in terms of national planning? You can see this was established in 2020, but today you can see the Ceylon Electricity Board long-term generation plan 2021, page number 522 indicate that the floating solar power plant with a capacity of 42 kilowatt was installed at the University of Jaffna in 2020, marking the country first such project as pilot project. So we are very pleased and proud to say that we got our knowledge contributed to the national development through establishing a pilot project with the help of Norway. We must thank Professor Dayalan from Norway, uh, Norwegian University. He worked very hard to get the funding and establish here, and now we are uh, in the CEB long-term generation plan. I'm sure that you all know that that is developed by more than 25 engineers, professional document for the national development with the name of University of Jaffna. So student innovation and nationally winning projects, if I list out some of them, in 2018, of course, our faculty is now getting up. So why I'm showing this is we have some facility inside of us. That means in our faculty, we have 4 departments: electrical, electronic engineering, mechanical engineering, computer engineering, and civil engineering, where you can come and do a lot of research building capacity. Your brain can be sharpened to think in deep and in depth with more knowledge gaining, so that that will help you to improve your career, make confident on proposing solutions, because in the research you will be analyzing many other ways, different ways in depth, so which will make you more confident and bring you to some solid answer to solve real world problem. So that challenge will so we have the capacity for that. We are winning even national level research. This was given by IESL. You can see the IESL president and people are here. So this is the IESL competition, competing all leading universities in the country. In 2018, our student win the first prize. So similar way, we got another first prize in 2021. We were same IESL undergraduate inventor of the year 2021. We got the first prize. So our team is showing the performance, which basically measure the performance of our work from the faculty, staff, supervision, and the students' hard work. So we are very pleased to say that we are getting good output from the university. So let's take from my specialized area. That's what I am taking as an example. But it is in many other places. So they are taking it. I can see in general the research and development is being promoted in the country nowadays. So you may believe me on it. Another 5 to 10 years, most of the things will come with the research and development. So how the government is proposing promoting the direction is the RE sector for the development of the research and development. So let's see the uh, in the geographical map, we have many good places which can have wind potential. You can see especially northwestern, Puttalang Kalpintia or highland area, and a little bit on eastern province for wind, not much. But highland is anyway, even though the wind is high potential, but it's very diluted because it is going through the hill area. But here, very dense, high dense wind is there, so you can get more wind in this area. So similar way, the solar also very good potential, including north and eastern, western, south, all Sri Lanka, except the highland and the Colombo area. All other places are have yellow mean very high capacity for the solar potential. So we are blessed by the God for giving this wind and solar potential in the country. So it is our responsible to extract this energy to improve our GDP or the economical side while not harmful to the people. So that's a very challenging job because you shouldn't trouble any people like fishery sector or farmers. They always afraid because they are very, even though they are low level educated people, but they are really contributing a lot to the GDP. They are working very hard. Their physical work is very hard. So we need to make sure even today in Mannar, the fight was why the fishery is giving enormous income to the country. Why you want to put a wind turbine and reduce the fishery income? Because their fight is when the wind turbines are there, their fishery, the fishing part is reducing, but which is yet to be proved because we don't know how it is reduced. We have now diverted that question to the expert from fishery department, fishery faculties, a few couple of fishery professors from NARA as well as fishery faculties in other universities, so that we'll get the answer, solid the answer. So this is how we have to work. We have to work through research and development, get the solid outcome. And if it is really a disaster for those fishery community, we have to either come across some paying mechanism or we have to sabotage the development. But I am sure that the Mannar is a very wonderful place for in South Asian region for the wind. So we have to go ahead. We have to find a way, optimum way to see whether without affecting the fishery or with minimum effect on the fishery sector, how we can grab the wind for power generation without making any trouble to the people as well. So you can see the government direction, even though we have now you have seen in last two slides, we have enormous resources on wind and solar. So the country is blessed with enormous resources. When we have resources, the CB long-term plan, where the all engineers are planning, they are saying that the future, very near future, the wind and solar will increase. You can see solar, wind is green color, solar is yellow color. So wind and solar power installation going to increase a lot. So this is the plan based on the resources and careful and critical study. So it is going to happen anyway. So it has been done through very critical study. I believe the CEB long-term plan is very professionally made. They are not behind any political reason or anything. They even advise the ministers and everybody through their professional services. More than 25 engineers are working in different angles. So I trust on the CB long-term plan. So definitely it's confirmed that solar and wind going to increase in the country very rapidly, similar to all other countries in Germany, Denmark, UK, USA, China, India. It will be also going to increase here. So that show you, for example, that is the slides I am showing you from the only RE renewable energy sector, which is my expert area. Similar way, many other sector also they have plan and clear cut information is given to the secretarial of the ministries on what are the direction to be moved forward. So if you are expert on road, you can find your planning on that one. And if you are expert in irrigation, you can target on that one and see whether what are the directions has been given by the ministry or the secretarial office, so that you can see where you can enhance your knowledge to uh, to see the challenges. Because for example, whenever you implement more wind and solar, you need to expert in that field. So to get expert in that field, you need to go into the deep and analyze. Then only you can select the correct technology and correct volume or correct amount of uh, uh, kilowatt rating, correct rating to implement that project for the best benefit to the people. So please carefully take this word and see whether how you can empower your knowledge through the research and development. So from the Faculty of Engineering, as I promised you at the beginning, I am listing some of the experts available with us, so that these slides will be shared with all of you, so you can go through that one. Myself as Atputharajah, good in power quality and renewable energy as an electrical electronic engineer and electric vehicle, and I have a team to work with all of you. Anybody wanted to do PhD with us, you can come. Professor Satyabaran, he is good in masonries and structural engineering from the civil engineering background. Then Dr. Sivakumar, good in water resource irrigation, so he is in senior lecturer. Then Dr. Kaduramanathan, he has double PhD. One is in mechanical engineering, one is in mathematics. So if you wanted to do some modeling and analyzing and everything, you are welcome to join with him. Dr. Thiruvaran, he is good in digital signal processing and biomedical engineering. You are welcome to work with him. Then Dr. Anburvel, he is good in traffic management and traffic simulation modeling. He was involving in 2050 planning for Jaffna city development. So, and Dr. Prabhakaran, he's good in microwave antennas and especially on communication part. He's currently serving as a dean of the faculty of engineering as well. Dr. Balachandran Khedi, he's very good in water resource, water related matters. So you can always join with him for wastewater or water and environmental side. Then Dr. Ahilan, he's again good in digital signal processing and machine learning, so many things. So he's having his own lab, research lab established with the help of AHEAD project. You are welcome to join with him as well. And Dr. Daniel Subramaniam, he's good in civil and environmental, or he has primarily focused on the hydraulic and environmental side, mostly on that area. So you can join with him. Then Dr. Kaneshwaran, he's good in computer computer vision and face recognition and all kind of thing. He's the head of computer engineering as well. Dr. Chandima Somaran, good in structural with the material side. So you are welcome to join with him. And Dr. Tanya Chelvan, she's good in nano composites material, like material side with the physics background. Uh, then Dr. Janathanan, he's good in steel structure. So you are welcome to join with him. And Dr. Nishandan, again, good in soil mechanics and geotech laboratory. He's in charge of that, following up what Professor Duraraja's areas. And Dr. Jayanandan, Pradibha Jayanandan, he's good in machine learning with a background of computer engineering. And Dr. Thananjayan, last addition from Melbourne University, he's good in information technology and IoT, uh, especially on communication side. And Dr. Myron from QUT, Queensland University of Technology, he is good in cold form and hot related structural timber structures, so civil engineering background. So these are the experts available in our faculty. So anybody wanted to come and join for research supervision, they can help you. So basically, in conclusion, if I tell you the research point of view, the R&D is important for business. For example, R&D, research and development, is a multi-million business. So maybe we like to work for salaries and organization. That's good, but we can work in depth, and as well as if you are become an entrepreneur or intellectual property person, you will get multi-million business out of the R&D. Every mobile is produced made of R&D. So whatever in your hand today, you are with the R&D's outputs. So basically, this provide very powerful knowledge and insights of any technology. You will be understanding through the R&D. So improvements of existing process. So for example, you may like to improve something. So before you propose something, you can do a little bit research on that, and it may not be a degree. Some are little researchers, like 1 month, 2 month research with the expert. You can mix and talk to them. Just mentoring, tea time discussion or lunchtime discussion will also make a little huge contribution. Then whenever you go up in the ladder, say for example, you have already cleared 50% of the work, then last 50% of the work may need some more time to get it into the deep. So that create every industry now come to the competition and come to some level. But if they wanted to survive more in the competitive market, they have to go with the research and development. So research and development will bring multi-million business. Getting it success is a challenge, definitely. Research and development need enormous dedication and contribution from your time. But however, the dedication and the hard work of all of you will definitely help you to enjoy the benefit of the to the professionals, as well as the region, as well as country at large. So when we work really hard, we feel more satisfaction whenever we develop something and implement it. So implementation is again a lot of challenges like sociology problems, lot of problems, but we have to clear it. If we wanted to clear on it, we had to be expert on it. When we become an expert, today I went to the meeting with the public. When they ask question, I cannot answer all the question. I can answer only from the electrical electronic engineering point of view, but sociology point of view, from mechanical point of view, fishery sector point of view, and agriculture sector point of view. So many things are to be answered. So we brought all team today. From NARA fishery person came, from NVRO sound system person came, environmental person came. A lot of people came and they were answering all the questions. So even though we have many people, even we have an expert from fishery, but he couldn't answer all the questions. This is with the public. So even public is normal people, but they can ask very clever questions. But to answer them in confidently, we need to go through the research and development. So the person from NARA, the PhD holder, he again kindly excuse the public and ask them to give some more time to do the research and come back to them and answer it. So this is how we have to do professionally the answers. We can't do ad hoc answers. We have to take responsibility. So the people will feel confident on what we are doing. So with that message, I welcome all of you to initiate some research and development and come and work with us to serve the best to the country. So with that, I am almost done. Thank you so much for your patience and listening to me. I hope I have done some reasonably good work to you. So please see whether you can come up with a good idea to implement the best for the country. Thank you. Any other questions?
So, have you done any potential studies for these sea wave generated power sector and geothermal side?
Yeah, actually, those two are still in the research component because they are not yet attracted the commercial level operation. Basically, when I say commercial level operation, for example, you can see A32. There was a wind power plant implemented recently. A32 mean going through the Punagiri to Jaffna from Kalinachi. That place, they are selling the single unit to the CEB with a cost of 12 rupees and 75 cents. But CEB average generation cost is around 15 rupees. So for the CEB, purchasing from this wind power plant is cheaper than their own generation cost. So it's confidently confirmed that this wind power has come to the economically viable position. So that means CEB will now promote all independent power producers to come up with their own generation and sell it to them, because there's a profit for CB as well. There's a profit for the independent power producer as well. That is why they were able to sell the unit cost to at least unit cost to 12.12 rupees and 75 cents. So like that, whenever it's become economically viable, it will kick up very large scale. But now at the moment, the geothermal electricity generation from geothermal technology or sea-wave technology. Sea-wave technology a little bit matured, but still they are very high cost in terms of unit production. So that is why still they are on research, but one day it will come to the commercial level, definitely. So it is in the process. We are doing. We are doing that research at the moment. Yes, not only us, actually, Peradenia as well as Ruguna also doing on the sea wave. Yes. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So what about the offshore wind turbine? Whether is it feasible in Sri Lanka in some part of the islands? Please.
Definitely. Offshore wind turbines are more potential in terms of smooth power and more quality wind. I mean, smooth wind and high speed dense wind also are very high potential. But however, the offshore, yes, I will come back for that. I have a small Zoom meeting.
Yeah. After that, please come there, sir, at first run.
Okay. Sure.
Cottage.
I will come.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Actually, offshore has more potential because smooth wind and the heavy wind. However, before going to the offshore, onshore is cheaper. Onshore wind power plants are much cheaper than offshore, at least almost like twice the price difference. And the difficulties are much easy. For example, installation and everything is easy. So as a small country, we are still yet to capture the whole onshore power plant capacity. But of course, people will fight, because people will fight. Fishery sector will fight, agriculture sector will fight. So somehow we have to find a way to optimize and cover up whatever available in the onshore, which is much cheaper. Then we can go for the offshore. So we will also taking some time, another direction. We are also taking some time to establish the offshore component, because while we are taking the time, offshore wind power production cost also coming down. So with the time, you can see the production cost. Wind turbines cost are reducing. Even solar panel has reduced drastically down to the level now. So likewise, when we initiate the offshore, we are waiting some more time while the prices are going down. But enormous potential is there. Sri Lanka is wonderful because surrounded by sea. Always offshore potentials are there. So we have to go for the shallow sea area. So that is available. Plenty of space is available in offshore. Yes. Any other question?
Dr. Atputharajah,
Yes.
I have to congratulate you on your fantastic lecture. I'm an old engineer, brackety old engineer, but you explained it in very simple terms, very complicated technology, very nicely. I was very much impressed. And as you said about the offshore technology, because in the longer run, that will be more appropriate for Sri Lanka because of the being an island and right round we have the sea.
Yes.
Eventually, and also you will overcome the problem of the fisheries objection.
Yes.
So in the long term, if we can get some input from outside sources, if we can establish offshore wind turbines, won't it be more profitable?
Yeah, surely. Actually, that's a good point. They are now in the process of manufacturing wind turbines inside the country, because now the large wind power plants are coming up and large solar power plants are coming up. The ministry and the Sustainable Energy Authority is focusing on establishing people who can manufacture or at least assemble some level of starting from manufacturing level. So they are looking forward. So this is a good time to start on that direction, but it's quite challenging. But
still the focuses are coming up now. Yes. Yes.
Narani,
Any more questions, please?
Doctor, once again, I have to intervene.
Yes.
Yes. I am from Batiklo, where we have a huge lagoon. So when you talk about the floating solar panels, it will be an ideal place to set up solar panels because we have a very large lagoon area. So
yes.
Is there any prospect of commercializing this floating what do you call panels?
Yes, sure.
Narani,
Actually, there are more chances because the difference between floating and the rooftop is not much different other than the floating structure. So the floating structure also now we can make it in Sri Lanka. So that is why our demonstrating power plant at the Faculty of Engineering, anybody can come and visit and see that place. But that floating structure is simply a stone pipe together with the fiber material, some covers, which can be made by the people who are making the boat. So it's quite very easy to make it in Sri Lanka. So what we and also the commercialization is already there. Even in foreign countries, lot of commercialized floating power plants are there, and Sri Lanka only we are the one first demonstrated here. But now it is in the CEB long-term plan. Very soon there will be large floating power plants going to come. So maybe I think if you talk to the CEB area engineers, they can recognize the potential places and inform to the CEB planning division. So they will accommodate those areas also into their plan. But they have already come across some large ponds to implement the floating power plant around I think 10 megawatt at the moment. They have already put up in the plan, but they wanted to go up to about 100 megawatt as their prediction on floating only. So it's quite a large area, but still they haven't identified any specific places in their planning section. For example, in the long-term plan, they have already identified like Punagiriyan for wind and solar, or Mannar for the wind, and like that they already identified like 250 megawatt at Punagiri Gaudanimana area, and 300 megawatt for Mannar, where 100 megawatt already implemented. So similar way, they haven't identified the place for the floating solar, but it is going to come very soon. But they have already planned at least 10 megawatt as soon as possible, and their target is 100 megawatt of floating solar in the long-term plan, but not the places are identified. But the Dringo Lagoon is a very good place. Very good lagoon, yes.
Is there any more questions, please? Okay, as there are no more questions. Sorry. Yes, Doctor.
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
I was also following your very interesting lecture from Colombo.
Okay.
You have to, first of all,
Today I am at Mannar actually. I am delivering the lecture from Mannar.
So first of all, actually, we have to thank the chapter for organizing this important lecture and inviting you. So in addition to the technologies you mentioned, that is very appropriate.
Yes.
I very much appreciate the fact you emphasized that the importance of the young engineers engage in the applied research.
Yes.
Today, actually, we can see lots of our young engineers engage in postgraduate studies, but the topics they select are not appropriate, as I have seen. So there are many practical cases that we can do, but unfortunately select areas which are not very relevant to us, or easy subjects, I would say.
Yes.
Tendency with MBS and looking in the HR aspects, But I think as engineers, there are many topics, applied research, industry, there are many problems. So I think we should encourage young engineers to engage in applied research. So I think today you emphasize it and you gave a very clear message. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
So being our engineers, so a very interesting lecture. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Kamal. And with this, I think there are no more questions. And sir is also in hurry for the other appointment. So we'll wind up this session. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable time and valuable contribution to us. Please, dear everyone, please fill the forms.